Welcome to 5 Minute Mediumship, and in this video I wanted to talk about being comfortable without having necessarily the level of consistency that you might like. So within our mediumship, within the contacts that we have, within the recipients that we're relaying that information to, we're never going to have exactly the same type of information, exactly the same feelings, exactly the same flow, because each contact is different and each recipient is different, and also the time is different. So even if you are perhaps regularly serving a particular spiritualist church with a regular attendee, you might have the same contact come through perhaps every time you serve that church for perhaps the same member of the congregation. And whilst there might be aspects of the evidence that are similar each time, the contact will be relaying the information that's relevant, that's of value, that's important to that recipient at that moment in time. And so really, if you think about it, if you think about doing the best that you can with your mediumship, then there won't be a consistent type of information with any specific contact, because they will be relaying what it is important to relay at that moment in time for the recipient they're coming forward with. Now, being comfortable without having the level of consistency that you might like within your mediumship comes down to having confidence in the attunement that you have to spirit and in the link that you have with each specific contact. And that comes down to honesty. It comes down to dedication and commitment to your development, so sitting in the power, making sure that you're working on that attunement to the spirit world. And then it comes down to honesty within each link that you make. We know where we are within our own energy when we're working with spirit. We know whether we are in that moment, whether we're really in the energy. We know when we're struggling a little bit. We know when the link isn't quite as we might hope or might expect it to be. We also know when we are in the right place, but the link is challenging because perhaps of the information or the type of evidence, the feeling, what the contact is trying to relay. So there's always an opportunity for us to reflect on the work that we've done and to look at the areas of growth and the areas of development that we need to work on. But in reality, when you look at your work, and particularly when you look at the aspect of consistency within your work, really, one of the things that you want to be aiming for is consistency in your blend, not consistency in the evidence, the type of evidence, the flow of evidence, how it feels, how it's presented to you. Because if you're doing your job to the best of your ability, that should change each time, because you give that sense of freedom to the contact to be able to relay what they need to be. Your consistency should be in your attunement to spirit, and that actually happens outside of the blending with the contact. It happens through that sitting in the power, through that attunement to spirit. But nevertheless, you should be able to be aware of a consistency within your blending when you're actually working with spirit. And if you can achieve a consistency in that, then you'll be able to trust and have confidence in the way that you're working with spirit, in the information they're relaying, in the specifics that the contact is bringing forward, even if it might not come across in quite the way that you might expect it. It might not have the same level of clarity or detail with each piece of information that you might like. Because the one thing that we have to remember is that sometimes things are relayed that we don't have full awareness of, and we don't know how the impact of something that we're saying is actually being received by the recipient. Something that we might see as a throwaway comment might actually have incredible and specific value and meaning to the recipient at that particular point in time. So try and be comfortable with a lack of consistency within your information. Allow yourself to explore it, but work instead to make sure you have a consistency in your attunement, in a consistency within your blend.